Hello, I'm Sabina from CREAT3D, and in this short video I'm going to run through some of the key features and functionalities of the Markforged Eiger software. So this software is used on the Markforged range of 3D printers. So that includes the desktop series of the Mark II and the Onyx range, as well as the industrial series of the X3, the X5 and X7, and the Metal X, the Wash and the Sinter. So one of the things just to point out is that Eiger actually runs on Google Chrome. There is an offline version available as well, but for the most part, most of our clients will use the online version. And one of the key benefits of doing this is actually that it can be accessed by your teams no matter where they are. So what you then have is a shared platform of parts that have required settings confirmed, so that if, for example, you have a fleet of printers in perhaps one location in different parts of the UK or even in different countries, you can share those files and know that you are printing the same consistent part across platforms. So I'm going to start just by giving you an overview. So in here on the left-hand side, you can see you have a library and folders. So you can create as many folders as you like and store them accordingly is what's easiest. So here I'm going to load in the gripper jaw, and I'm actually just going to take us through the main stages of processing a part for printing, but also just point out some of the key things that we particularly like about Eiger. So to start with, you'll see that actually it's a very simple view, which is great for when you're controlling your part and your settings. So on the left-hand side, you've got your summary box of your part details, which includes things like your dimensions, which is always good as a sanity check. The platform in front of us is showing us our build plate, obviously with our part on there. And then on the right-hand side, we've got the main part settings. Now with Eiger, there is a lot of control and variables that you can use within the settings, and I'll just run through some of those now. So just to start with, one of the good things about getting going is with orientation. So you have the option to manually rotate a part if there's a particular surface that you want to orientate it to, or you can use the super easy function, which is just highlighting a particular surface and then it orientate to that part. So for us, because of the geometry of this, we're going to print it in the upright position. So for our purposes of today, I'm going to show some benefits of using some of the software with fibre in. So we're going to print it in Onyx with fiberglass. So what you can do is actually select here your choice of material. So as I said, because it crosses all of the different Markforged platforms, then actually you have the full range of materials in here. So we've selected Onyx. We're going to use fibre. You can choose to not use fibre, but here we're going to use fiberglass today. And for the purpose of this, we're actually going to print it on our X7, which is the industrial series, so select from here. Once you've set your settings, you then can delve into more details. So here you would have control over layer height if you weren't using fibre, but because we have fibre, it is a set height. You can select your units, you can select the scale, and here is about supports, which we'd always recommend using. Further down we go, we've actually got some more advanced beta functions here. You may have noticed as well that you have little pop-ups, so if you're unsure about something, it comes up with the details and you can read through the instructions. When you go on to infill, you then again have control over the type of pattern that you're filling. So today we're going to use standard settings of triangular fill. Again, the density, so typically it would be on 37, but you've got the ability to adjust it as you need to. And then when it comes to reinforcement, so because we have fiberglass here, I've just put a minimal number of layers in just to show the impact. But again, you can increase that as well as you can choose the type of fill and you can adjust the settings within that. So once you've got your part ready, what we particularly like is this, which is the internal view. And for me, this is where it actually brings out much more of detail of the part. So you can scroll through it in a layer by layer process. So here is in 3D mode. We particularly like the 2D mode, and I'll show you why. So here we can scroll through and actually we can see the build as it will happen. When we get to this area here, this is actually showing us where the fibre will be laid in this block, and then we can continue all the way through to see the part's progress. It allows us just to check in and check it's as we expect, and then at the end we have some more fibre. One of the other good things about being in this view is that if we wanted to, example, add some extra fibre in this layer, then what we can actually do is just select it according to the layer that we're on. And we up here have got a shortcut button just to insert fibre at that particular location, or do things like pause. So for example, if we were going to drop in components maybe some nuts or sensors, then actually we can set the printer to pause at the certain build heights, so then we can embed those components. Once we're happy with it, you can go back to your part view. Just check your final details on the left-hand side here. You can see the amount of material it's using, as well as the estimated print time. And then when you're ready, you can go through to the print view. Here again, we see our bed. This is the X7 as we're going to print on. What you can do here is move your parts and lay out your bed as you wish. You can also add multiple parts. So if you wanted to, you could print multiples of the same one or add different ones. But of course, it would need to be the same material and same settings, otherwise it wouldn't be able to print. It does come up with useful warnings as well. So here the build wouldn't be possible because they're overlapping. But once you've cleared and located them accordingly, then the warning disappears. So with the Markforged, you can actually connect up all of your printers. So we have multiple printers that are operated and connected in our fleet. So for this one, I actually want to print it on the X7. It is offline, but it doesn't stop me from sending it to the queue. So here, what I can do is just check the details and then add it to the queue. Once it's added to the queue, then actually what I can do is go through and then I've got queue control. So for example, if I wanted to increase the number of copies of a particular print, or if I had multiple parts within the print queue, what I could then do is adjust the flow and decide which one would print first. So these are just some of the features of the Markforged system. We can always go through it on a more one-to-one basis if you want to explore it more, or we can offer a free trial. So you could actually have access to the system and load in some of your own parts to run them through the settings and see how you get on. Any questions? Please do not hesitate to contact the team. Thanks.